Hello students. In the previous video, we have already learned about the input and output devices of a computer, which are the physical components of the computer or the hardware. So in this video, let us now discuss on software, and also let us have a look at the purpose and types of software. A software is a set of instructions. So, a hardware needs to be operated by a set of instructions. Remember, the hardware that we have already learned cannot function on by itself. First of all, there should be a user to operate those hardware components. That means the physical components or the hardware of the computer system. Apart from that, hardware needs to be operated by a set of instructions. The instructions or the data are being processed using the computer hardware. The computer software and hardware complete any task together. Just like we human beings, even though our physical parts of the body are functioning well, but without the soul, we are nothing. So, a living being needs the physical components as well as the soul. So, the soul and the body complete the task together. Similarly, a computer software and hardware complete the task together. So here you can see some of the examples of software. Popular software that you must have come across in your daily life is Windows, and then word processing software, photo editors, and some more software that I cannot mention, but you know it well. So once those printed, that means once the image or the data are being printed, the document or the image is called a hard copy. That means those that we can touch are the hard copy. Hardware refers to the physical components and the information that are being displayed or being retrieved by us in the form of a format such as paper is known as a hard copy. The sole purpose of a software is to make computer hardware useful and operational. We cannot talk or instruct the hardware of a computer directly. The hardware or the components of the computer cannot understand human language. Hence, software acts as an interface between human users and the hardware. Suppose, for example, we want to print documents. We cannot just ask the printer to print, but there is a software which acts as an interface between the human users and the hardware. And there are types of software. The categories are systems software, programming tools, and application software. Now let us have a look at the system software. So the software that provides the basic functionality to operate a computer by interacting directly with its constituents hardware is termed as a software, and particularly it is known as a system software. That means this type of software provides service directly to the end user or to some other software. Example, operating system or the OS. So the operating system is an example of a system software. It is the main system whereby without the operating system, the computer system as a whole cannot operate. An operating system is the most basic system software. So remember, an operating system is the software without which other software cannot work. Next is the system utilities. The software that are used for maintenance and configuration are known as system utilities. For example, we human beings, we are alive and sometimes we get ill. Now when we get ill, we take medicines to maintain our health, and we also need food for a daily survive. So here antivirus software is an example of system utilities, just like the medicines that we are taking to maintain our health. So antivirus software is also an example of system utilities which maintains the computer system. Whereas an operating system is an example of our soul. Next, let us have a look at the device drivers. The device driver acts as an interface between the device and operating system. So the purpose of the device driver is to ensure the proper functioning of the device or the peripherals. So when we say peripherals, it means the devices. And these devices has a diverse characteristic. That means the input and output devices. Not all input devices function the same. Not all output devices function the same. They are different from one another. So the device driver acts as an interface between these devices. For example, if you type through a keyboard, that action that is being done through the keyboard is different from that of a mouse, even though both are input devices. So the device driver keep tracks of the functioning of these devices. Another example is a translator. So a device driver acts as a translator between the operating system and the device. Just like we human being, if I don't understand your language and you don't understand my language, we need a translator or we need a common language for us to communicate. Similarly, here in the computer system, the device driver acts as a interpreter between the operating system and the attached device. Now let us have a look at the application software. In our daily life, we use many and plenty of apps. Apps means application software. So the system software provides the core functionality of the computer system. There are again two broad categories of application software. One is the general purpose customized application software. One is the general purpose, whereas the other is the customized application software. When we say general purpose software, we are talking about the ready-made application software that are available and that can be used by the end users as per their requirements. For example, Adobe Photoshop or any browser that we are using, such as Mozilla web browser. Another customized software is an example of application software, and this is not a ready-made software. These are just like the dress that we are keeping in order. Sometimes when we buy dress or we want to design our own dress, we buy the cloth or the material. So Those are user defined. We design according to our requirements. So similarly, the software that are being designed according to the requirements of the user is known as a customized software. And it is similar to buying a piece of cloth with a specific color and fabric and get it stitched as per the desire of the user. Whereas a general purpose software is a ready-made application software. Just like, for example, when we buy ready-made cloth, we cannot compare the designer. We cannot complain. Why do they choose this color? Why not that color? Because it is up to the designer. Next is the proprietary or free and open source software. Developers of some software allow public access or uses of those software along with the source code. And these type of software are known as free and open source software. The source code of the operating system, Ubuntu, is an example of this type of software. More examples of the FOSS is Python. And examples of freeware are Skype and Adobe Reader. So freeware means the software which are freely available for use, but the source code may not be available. So we can get this software for free. But remember, in the FOSS, the source code is also available, whereas in the freeware, the source code are not available, even though both these types of software are available for free. That means we can access freely. When the software has to be purchased from a vendor or the software has the copyright, then it is a proprietary software. Examples are Microsoft Windows, Tally, QuickHeal, and so on. So a software can be freeware or open source or proprietary software depending upon the terms and conditions of the person or group who has developed and released that software. So my dear students, with this topic I conclude this unit, and it is according to the CBSE syllabus, that is the revised syllabus 2020-21. We have already discussed these topics, and you can visit my YouTube channel and do watch the videos from the playlist. All these topics according to the revised syllabus is there in the playlist for Computer IP class 11.